So this is the fruit of these backdoor think tank meetings like the Bilderbergs and other groups all over the world where they, get together and they plan out what they're going to do. This is the fruit of them. They get the right actors. They get the right people in entertainment. There's this massive network of people that are working towards the same goal, this 1,000 points of light. And, they all have this worldview that worships the God of this world, who is so completely diametrically opposed to the God of the universe, who is good. The God of this world is not good. He's selfish. He's maniacal. He is a brat. He wants to compete with God. He is filled with jealousy. He is filled with darkness. His title is Hasatan, or what we call Satan in my country, probably many countries. He opposes all that is good. He wants to wreck God's stuff. He really reminds me so much of the characters, and I've talked about this before, of Q and those silly what were they? Not Star Wars, Star Trek, but it was like the Next Generation or whatever. I saw those when I was a kid. And also the Loki figure. And kind of sort of a little bit in the Batman Jokers, although the newer ones, well, they're not new anymore, but the darker they went and the more psychotic they went, I was like, oh, I'm not feeding my heart on that stuff. So quite a lot of those, I don't even know. I didn't watch the films. But just that idea of that Joker character, he just opposes order and structure and so much more could be said about that. Blah, 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 blah. So anyhow, you see these figures that embody these certain characteristics that I really feel show us they shines a small amount of perspective and light onto the person of Lucifer. And he works so hard to cloak himself. Well, anyhow, so that is the person that these people worship and obey and work to his purposes. But they can't just straight outright tell people, well, we want to kill all of you, right? So they have to come up with these people. They have to network. They have to hire these attractive and now this new interesting generation of very young females. Now, not just, she just did not that long ago a video. She's Mother Earth in this. And there's this very tribal feel that she has to this performance of Mother Earth. In fact, she has her child in it. And a lot of the thing happened to Beyonce. And I think it was that in the entering of that demon into her. I want to be careful what I say here, but so these are attractive women. These are nice women. I don't have a problem with these women. I think the dirt under their feet is very lovely from an artistic expression. I don't hate this color. I think it looks incredibly beautiful on them, but I'm going to be careful what I say here. And I do several breakdowns of this video, and I stuck it in the Mother Earth playlist, and I want to get on to other things too and not just focus on this. But having these women of this shade, which is very lovely, their hair dyed red, very lovely. This red, coming down off of this pink. This is all about the celebration of Mother Earth. And they have the bottom parts of them very tight and accentuating certain parts of them, and we'll leave it at that. But I want you to understand that there is something to be said about the worship of genitalia, which is part of a religion, actually. I don't know if you know that or not. When you start really, and you probably do, but when you really start getting into understanding what Yahweh's enemies were about, what they worshiped, what they did that God didn't like, part of that was the actual worship of genitalia, whether that's male or female. And really, honestly, in Satan's kingdom, you can turn anything into an idol with him. And it just has to do, I mean, there's a lot to it, but This is about as pure. No, I'm not saying pure. I'm saying natural, naturalistic as you can get. You see all these themes. What I mean to say is that these are temples, right? The body with the soul, the psyche. And we've talked about countless times how when the spirit left Adam and Eve and then their children were born from them, they don't have the Holy Spirit in them. So the kinds of ideas and theologies and philosophies and religious worship, what they will term spirituality, all that sort of thing is being presented through purely natural people. When I say natural, I'm talking about that soul, that without God, that absence of God, that void of God. When you look in the Bible and you start to get a worldview, you start from the Bible. What I mean to say is the Hebrew point of view in the Bible, excuse me, gives this idea about how God detests the satisfying of the natural desires of man that are often out of sync with God, I think is a good way to put that. There is no spiritual internal image copying, holiness, walking after God in the natural man, or in this case, woman. Okay. You have people that are motivating you towards, if you have a desire, you satisfy it. This goes all together with the backdrop of your Crowley. Do what you will shall be the whole of the law. Do what thou will be the whole of the law. That whole thing. And you're seeing it with person after person, actress after actress. And if you can't see the demon inside of her with that hard, intense look, boy, she's so different now. Beyonce in interviews used to be so sweet and cute, and her personality just shined. And who this person is, all hard and intense, and this, you know, tribal, beautiful red, these things that are coming down. This idea of birthing a new race of people, a new identity, an abominable branch that's coming, a new humanity, a new kingdom, is all in this. And she's not the only one, but I wanted to just point out that the whole tribal aspect to this, the whole, we have to satisfy our urges. You know, just because you have an urge doesn't mean it's a good thing to satisfy. And Aurora was talking about that before. I showed you in Josh Sparrow's video. Really enjoyed his work. And these ideas are that we need to get into Mother Earth. We need to do what Mother Earth is doing. And the very large-chested stuff, that's all your focus on Mother Earth. She's going to nurture you. Gaia is going to take care of you. Don't you want Gaia to take care of you? And very stunning visual feast of evil. These people are all, you know, playing part and parcel of the Holy Spirit, and they'll all move in unison. And Beyonce makes up the trunk of this tree. It's this tree that they've made. It's a family tree that they're making. They have an abominable branch coming. Boy, he's not nice. Very interesting. This is for the movie. This, again, is about the worship of the genitalia. I'm telling you. It just screams of that. I mean, they can't put a big, giant whatever on there. But this is as close as they can get in visual stimuli, and much more could be said about that. But I will let you use your imagination as a grown adult and figure out what I'm trying to say and how they're offering up imagery, and we'll leave it at that. Because I don't want to stumble people. I'm not looking to do that. That just straight out looks demonic to me. Do I think everybody's demonic? No, but when you have somebody that literally sits there and tells you and brags, this thing came inside of me before my BET awards. Yeah, there's a demon in there, and people are like, yawn, who cares? So we talked about this a little bit before, but Aurora really captivates this tribal, blood needed, blood necessary. Mother Earth is ticked off. Mother Earth is going to take you out. You need to go along with this new way of doing things. And I showed you in a different video a little bit about a hint video that they did, but this is actually, I believe that this is the main video. And in it, she's just, you know, she's got the whole tribal thing going on. She has a cult of people that are dancing very strangely like herself. And she looks very evil here. Very children of the corn, really. And I don't think she's an unattractive person. But I would assume that this girl is also very demon possessed. Is this the new one? I don't want to get a copyright thing on this. Right, this is also children of the corn. Look, so she's squeezing something and this, you know, pretend blood. Okay, here it is. She's going to have these cult people behind her, right? And it's so funny because in other videos like Kanye West and there are others out there too, they're having them dress alike, and it is a very cultish sort of, you need to come along with us, you know, that Midsummer Samar video. She looks so demon possessed. I'm going to put a link down below so that you can see this for yourself. See, even these expressions with the hands, this is very like, we're going to murder off humanity. You see what I'm saying? It's very interesting to watch when she dances. These type of tribal dances are how you summon the spirits. This is witchcraft is what this is. It's very strange. And then they get down on all fours. You know, she's telling you in 1,000 different ways, go ahead and satisfy your urges, whatever you want to do. There is no right or wrong. It's whatever you feel like doing. This is not a new idea. It's a very recycled idea. I mean, we were hearing about this back in the book of Judges, that everybody did what they wanted to according to their own desires. Every man did what was right in his own eyes. She's just one of these young girls that they're using along with these other people to get you into that same mindset that, you know, sadly in the end, we're just going to have to murder off a whole bunch of you for this tribal type of mentality. You also have videos of Roseanne talking about tribal things with regard to Israel. These things are not disconnected at all. And there is this idea that Israel, if you don't yoke with Israel's tribes, the house of Israel, you're going to get it. This just goes on and on. Of course, they've named it apple tree because, my goodness, what happened from that moment of eating that apple or whatever it was? My goodness, 6,000 years worth of hell on earth, and they have this blood on them. They're all tribal. They're working together as a pack. That's how they want the world to go. It's all very demonic. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you seriously kidding me? I've watched this video a couple times, and each time that I watch it, I mean, if you can't see the demon that is in Homegirl right there, I'm sorry, you're not awake. You need to, not my listeners per se, but I'm just saying people in general, if you don't see the level of a spiritual entity inside this little human girl from Norway, and this level of hatred and disgust for humanity, there's something wrong. You know, I'm supposed to believe that this is art. This is not art. This is an idea being pushed in and through art. And a lot of people are going to end up dying. Right now, they're just getting it ready. This tribal Mother Earth depopulation theme is going to go somewhere. It's going to kill a lot of people. I also want to show you, they have the blood splatters strategically placed in the crotchal areas. Now, when they castrate and whatnot, which is, it goes back to Kabbalah, it goes back to changing of the boy into more of a girl, it goes back to Kabbalah and Nana worship. They strategically put this blood splattering in the crotchal area. There is a weird form of genital worship involving taking it off. Changing things, flipping it upside down. There's a whole sick world there, if you didn't know about that. This touching of the belly, she does that a lot. And in the Bible, when you're talking about belly, appetite, the seat of your soul, emotion, instincts, feelings, etc., she says that you should do whatever you want, that there's no invisible force controlling her. Do you know why? Because she's God. She fancies herself. Twigs does it too. She's down on the ground in this very animalistic type of posture. See? That's a man dressed as a woman, I think. Very witchy poo, very tribal oriented witchy poo. She also comes riding in as the Whore of Babylon on the beast, but it's also the idol that Israel got in trouble for. They were doing weird sexual things when Moses went up at I believe it was Baal Peor. Some weird stuff, man. Bad stuff. Twigs again.